So in this video, we want to talk about Wise and what you can actually do with it. And before we do so, you will find the link to Wise down in the description, just the first one. So if you decide to sign up for Wise after this video, feel free to use it because it will help me and my channel to grow. So thank you a lot, then I can do more of these videos. So let's talk about Wise. Most of you know it because you can wire money all over the world for low transaction fees and very fast. You can actually do this in 160 different countries and in 40 different currencies. So that's quite a lot. And their magic trick is actually that you will always get a guarantee exchange rate, and it's always very, very close to the mid-market exchange rate, meaning it's very close to the one you will see on Google. So if we type in, for example, USD and Euro, then we will get the exchange rate on Google. It's 0.93 euros for $1. And here we will see it's pretty much the same. It's actually even cheaper. It's 0.9284 euros per dollar. So that's quite nice. And Wise is always comparing itself to different vendors and different banks. So you can see here, click more, and then we can see what kind of fees Wise is taking. For example, for a transaction for 1,000 USD to Euro, they will take $5.48 for this transaction. And here you will see the exchange rate and the fee and the cost for different banks. For example, MoneyGram or Chase. In this example, Chase is 27 euros more expensive and PayPal is even 40 euros more expensive. So Wise is really transparent on the cost and the transaction fee. And they are, from this comparison, the only one who will give you the mid-market exchange rate. So that's what made Wise really famous all over the world, because people use it to send money around the world to their families, to different business partners, for example in China or Europe. You can pay invoices with that. But another cool thing what you can do with Wise, you can also receive money. So for example, I work with different brands all over the world, and sometimes they pay me in US dollar, or for example Wise, if you're using my link down below in the description, is paying me in pound, and therefore I can just open up an account with Wise for British pound or US dollar, and then I can start receiving money from my business partners. So that's pretty cool if you're doing business internationally, but it's also pretty cool if you're traveling abroad and you do a little bit of work and travel in Australia, then the person you're working for in Australia can actually pay you in Australian dollars on your account. So that's quite nice. And of course you can get a card from Wise. So this is a debit card, a Visa card, and you can start paying worldwide in over 231 countries, and you will get the best exchange rate because you have these accounts. For example, if I'm living in the UK for a year, then I get my British pounds from my employer, and then I can start spending the money and getting cash from the ATM with my Wise account. So that's pretty nice. And another really cool thing with Wise, you will also earn interest rates on your euros or British pound or US dollars, which is quite nice because then it's no dead money. It's actually working for you. And you can also invest it with Wise into the MSCI World ETF. So this is also pretty nice. So you can just click on features up here and it will tell you, okay, you have the multi-currency accounts, what we saw here. Then you can send money for low transaction fees, or you can even send large amounts. So if you're buying a house in a different country, I don't know, maybe in Mexico or maybe in Spain or something, then you can also wire large amounts of money, and you can receive money to your multi-currency accounts, and you will get a Wise card to pay internationally if you're traveling a lot, for example, and you can earn a return on your Wise assets, which is also pretty nice. So that's Wise, and I would say I will show you this from the inside how it looks. So you can just click on the link down below, then you can just register. You just have to type in your email, some personal information, and then you're good to go. And once you have signed up, you will land on this screen, and here you're inside your dashboard of your Wise account. And I actually used it for a couple of tutorials. So you will see my US dollar account, my Euro account, and my Canadian dollar account. But you can go ahead and open up more accounts. So you can just click on new, and then you can say I want to open up a balance account, and then you can just choose the currency, for example, British pound. account, and then you hit just confirm, and now you already have a British pound account. And you can go ahead and see the account details over here, but before you do so, you need to verify yourself. So you have to deposit 20 euros to your account or $20 and verify your ID. It's pretty simple. You just scan a QR code and then make a picture of your ID and take a picture of yourself, and within a couple of minutes they will verify you. Because this is just a demo account, I have my other account, but I don't want to show you my real balance, but you will see the account details here, and then you can start receiving money, for example in British pounds, or if you go back you can receive money in US dollars. And you can do this in two ways. You can either just type in the account details you have here and wire the money, or you can just click add and say, okay, I want to add 1,000 US dollars, and I can either connect my bank, or I can also pay with debit card or credit card, or do a wire transfer. And this way you will receive the money on your account, and then you will start holding different currencies, for example US dollars or British pounds, for example. But the most important part is actually wiring the money. So when you have family abroad or a business partner and you want to send them some cash, you can do it in two ways. So just click on send here, because then you will land on this interface, and this is the main interface to do wires and transfer money globally. And you can choose the currency you're sending from. Let's assume US dollars, and we want to send it to Europe. And you can either say, okay, I have $1,000 and I want to send it over, or if you have to pay a bill for any goods and services, then you can say, I want to send the other person 1,526 euros, and then this amount is automatically calculated in US dollars, which is quite nice, because often you do have to send the other person the exact amount, and the exchange rate is guaranteed for the next 13 hours. And this way Wise makes sure that your recipient gets the exact amount. So this is pretty cool. Just play around with it. Maybe you have a different currency where you're sending it from, or a different currency receiving it. So you can also choose Chinese yen, for example, or any other currency. And now you have different options to pay for this transaction. So you can click on change, and either you already have money on your Wise balance account, then you can use this one, of course, the US dollars laying around in your dollar account on Wise, or you can just say, okay, I want to connect my bank account and it will be deducted from this account, or you can wire the money, because at the end then Wise will give you the information, and then you can wire the money to Wise and they will automatically pay the euro amount to your recipient. But you can also pay by debit card or credit card, and it will go even faster. So this just takes 3 hours because they just deduct the money from it, but it's most expensive. So you will always see the amount you have to pay. So here, for example, you have to pay 27 US dollars, and with the connected bank account, it's just 8.50 US dollars, or it's the cheapest if you're actually holding US dollars on your Wise account, because then it's just $5.29. And depending on what you want, you can just select it here and then click continue, and it will tell you when it will arrive in the next 3 hours, and it will also include the actually transaction fee. So sending over 1,652 US dollars to Europe, it will cost us $8.47, which is quite low, by the way. And now we can go ahead and add the recipient, and actually the person is on Wise, so you can find it, or you can enter the bank details from the person, or if you have an invoice to pay, you can upload the PDF or just take a picture of it, and then the system will automatically fill the information into the transaction form. But let's go ahead and say we have the bank details, and then we can just send it to ourselves, someone else, or a business, but let's say someone else. And now we can actually put in their email, so they will receive an email saying that they will get some cash from you, which is quite a nice email to receive. And then you can enter the full name of the account holder here. And in Europe, you have the SWIFT system, so you will have an IBAN number, and then you can just type it in, select the country, the city, the address, and the postal code. And maybe if it's outside of Europe, you can also send euros outside of Europe, then you will have a different system. So this is heavily depending on where you're sending the money to. For example, if you're sending money from Europe to America to US dollar, you will see the routing number and the account number. And if you want to send it to a checking account or saving account, so you have the opposite view kind of. And yeah, then you just type everything in, the whole information. Then you have in the next step the review process, where you can review your transaction, and at the very end you're paying for the transaction. And this is depending on what you've chosen here here on the first step. So here you can either choose the Wise balance account, the wire account, and the debit or credit card. And then you just pay, and it will tell you exactly when it will arrive. It will give you a notification along the way what will happen when they receive the money and when they sending the money to your recipient. And this is pretty cool because they're very transparent and they're very fast and very cheap. So this is pretty much what you want from a bank and when you want to send money internationally. Yeah, so this is kind of Wise. As said, I'm using it for receiving money in US dollar and British pound, and I'm actually holding the money in US dollars because I get a lot of interest rate up to 4%. And when I need it and the exchange rate, for example, to euro is nice, then I can just convert the money from my US dollar account to euro, and then I can just wire the money to a different account and just use it there. Or I can just use it with my Wise card, and it will automatically know, for example, if I'm in the US, it will pay with USD from my US dollar account, and if I'm in Europe, it will automatically take my euros. You can also request money, you can add money, and you can also start saving money. And they also have a business account, so if you want to use it as a business, you can use the business account, and there you can actually add your team members and you can give them different balances and you can assign them different cards so they can use it when they're traveling abroad. So you can do a lot of budgeting there. You can actually also connect your tax accounts and tax software, like for example QuickBooks, and then it will automatically tell QuickBooks what you did. And you can also send invoices from there and just do business internationally with low fees and very fast. I can recommend Wise quite a bit. I'm using it because I need it from doing business internationally, and I also use my Wise card when I'm traveling abroad, and I'm quite happy. I don't know of any other bank which does it quite nicely, and Wise is also quite big already. They started in 2011 and they have over 4,400 employees. They do a transaction volume of over 10 billion pounds per month, so they're quite known in the space, so it's no joke. And you can actually start using it, and I actually trust them with my money, so they're so transparent with everything. I really like it. And yeah, if you want to start using it, you can just use the link down below. If you have any questions, you can just leave a comment. I'm eager to answer them all. And if you like the video, just give it a thumbs up, and we see us in the next video. Thank you for listening. Bye.